Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Some days back, the United Nations spoke about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, mandated the Nigerian government to do that. Hours after the 52 coalition of northern groups insisted that UN is making a wrong decision, taking a wrong decision, and they insisted that they are mandating the government to to release Nnamdi Kanu is not only absurd, but the government of the day should rise to the occasion and defend the land. Because according to them, Nnamdi Kanu have caused a lot of mayhem and intend to create another war in Nigeria. Because it's not sitting well with indigenous people of Biafra, and they decided to list out a lot of things which may have escaped the minds of Nigerians, but I decided to point it all out and also tell United Nations what to do and expedite actions. Well, before we go into the newspaper, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. You see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Let's go straight into the news of the day. Well, According to the news, the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, as at yesterday, lashed out at the Northern Coalition Group (NCG) over a statement credited to it concerning a recent United Nations (that's UN) Working Group on Human Rights and Arbitrary Detention opinion for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. The United Nations had, as at July 23rd, 2022, asked the Nigerian government to immediately and unconditionally release Nnamdi Kanu from detention. The directive followed an indictment of both Nigeria and Kenyan government by the United Nations Group for the arrest and extraordinary rendition, torture and continued detention of the indigenous people of Biafra leader without due process. IPOB, in a statement by its media and publicity secretary Emma Powerful, said that the NCG's attack on the United Nations betrays the mindset of the members of the group and how undemocratic and lawless they could be. The statement reads in part, and I quote: "The attention of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has been drawn to the laughable, disgraceful, and unguarded statement credited to the inconsequential mushroom group called Northern Coalition Group against the United Nations Working Group on Human Rights and Arbitrary Detention's recent opinion for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. This ignoramus, faceless Northern group shows their absolute ignorance by coming against and warning United Nations on their order to release the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB leader and a prisoner of conscience unconditionally and compensate him adequately for illegal abduction and extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria over a year ago." The statement credited to CNG against the United Nations Group's opinion betrays the mindset of members of CNG and how undemocratic and lawless they can be. It is not far from the truth that the federal government is the one sponsoring the faceless Northern group to attack the United Nations decisions and anybody or group that have a contrary opinion against the non-performing government in Nigeria. They want to test the reactions of the international community. The world must understand that this kind of people is the problem in Nigeria. Their preoccupation and interest is to hijack the indigenous people's ancestral lands and resources, but the indigenous people of Biafra won't allow them. Wow. At the beginning of this whole thing, I think some hours ago, really, maybe a day or two ago, where we saw the statement credited to the 52 Northern coalition of Northern groups, I honestly, I was wondering, is it that they actually hired the United Nations, or they're just trying to be smart by half, and also mandating the government to act and all that? What came to my mind quickly when they talked about the issue of insecurity and how the country, how Mazen kind of would have led the country to into some sort of chaos. What came to my mind very quickly was the level of banditry insecurity going on. Mazen Kanu is in detention right now, okay, and to worsen it, he doesn't even have any access to any media, so which means he does not even make any broadcast of any kind, okay, but yet the country is in chaos in the sense that when it comes to the issue of insecurity, if they are not kidnapping, there's banditry going on. If that's not happening, there's robbery going on. And the fact, height of it all is the fact that they even bandit threatened to kidnap the sitting president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Nigerians are like, this is the height, such effrontery, such boldness. And where are they getting this temerity to say such words? Well, I guess over time they've always been doing things and technically speaking getting away with it. So to a great extent, when you say Mazen Kanu is the one behind all the chaos, all the issue of insecurity going on, trying to lead the country to some sort of war, but yet it's in detention, it's no more making comments, it's no more making announcement, but the country is still acts. But some days back, some senators wanted President Muhammad Buhari impeached over the level of insecurity. Abuja, Zuma, some days days back as well, went through a lot in the hands of bandits. We cannot continue like this. Okay, now with that, a lot of people would have expected that CNG at some point not only should condemn, should also provide solutions to level of banditry going on, the insecurity going on in both in the north and every part of the country. You have busy complaining about one Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who probably himself as he speaks right now is not probably still in detention, and you're insisting that now, having gone through the processes, don't forget that United Nations, Nigeria is a signatory to that charter where they had. And that charter, of which it involves most signatories, as a signatory to such charter and such policies, you should know better not to be found wanting. And Nigeria is a signatory to that charter, Kenya is a signatory to that charter. And they're now saying that you should go through the processes, usual processes, which is, pass through democratic processes, and you don't just, pick people, adopt them. To them, that's an adoption because there should be a process, a legal process to extradite someone. Like what is happening to Abba Kyari in Nigeria, where the FBI is trying to get a process to extradite Abakari. Up till now, we are still back and forth over the matter. It's not like they can't actually come to Nigeria and do. After all, Nigeria is going through a lot when it comes to the issue of insecurity, but they're trying to follow due process because they are also signatories to such charter. Now, if you're signature, what you don't understand the power of signature is that you attest, you agree that you also follow the policies hook, line, and sinker, and you will not be found wanting. And now they have gone through their investigation, they feel that the government have been found wanting in that process, and they say, look, release this guy and compensate him adequately. In fact, do it immediately. And it's one CNG saying, no, the government should rise up to the day and all that. The government have not reacted to this. Let's see how it plays out. But CNG already is almost speaking like the government, becoming the mouthpiece of the government. And IPOB is saying, look at how you are reasoning with the level of democratic process. Was that a democratic process? Well, that's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's the take? Do have a nice time.